Unto opa single. That what I don't know. May you be the fast to langa. May you make the ransom to. I see my dear man. Jabala wanda yama wasise. Katu api kaya kalina. Sore di dalam kanang. Abla kanu dia sompi ke. Menga papa logu le. Kapo papa logu le. Wana papa logu ne to ako kwa mesaku ne ko ako wa beneka. Ko ba ona lawe. Para paga con una voz. Dani me no gela kali. Lebe kapra ka kwairu aya lenga. Lebe banga ka kiru aya buho. Lebe ka kapra. Ka kwairu aya lenga. Amo gendo lo genga pe ya ya. Tubana kaya nyale. Si wanya to ga wa. To se non trouble to ga wa. So ne marry money that phone. So ne marry money that phone. Sagere ke kawano. Sagere ke kawano. Sengo duwa. Pala loge. Male posia ko gara yoga duwa. Tubana kaya nyale. Jinda pa to ga wa. We va lo que iba ya no. Tampoco vaya. No a lo que no vaya no. Para más baila de esa we ponga o. Yo que más si la de esa vale tiba po. Caro Glolo sabu. Suega ve a ko. Papa kwaja Mega papa lo kuwe Ka bon para ko para kuwe Para ko para kuwe to wa ko kwa mesaku Ko wa ko bene ka Ko wa ba wonu alawe Ko la faga gonu na bo Ka kwairu aya lenga Kwaye Seke se plan pa ka pena ya Ka prebe se so no ya la pepe Kalo tapre te ka pro se pumaya U gon tu kote u mera Papa kamela ya Mana se to gangwa Mana se to gangwa Pati eso So ya por te aisa Malibe ya bebe Para ma baila de sa we pongane Ma si lo le sa le ti ba we Je me okangwe Kabedo mera Gona sala kata le kaya bea Ko wacha Mega papa lo gure Ka koron pola ko pa lo gure Ko pa lo gure to wa ko pa mesaku Koha mesa kune koha bene ka Sege se dampa kamera ya yo Soya por el teisa Soya por el teisa Si ma koro todo mo va Do agarra la nyano no Is that a different one? Double Eagle, God bless you. Gotta go my turn. Jobala wanda yama wasise. Katu apie kaya kaline. Sore di dalam kana wan. Abla kanu dia sompie ke. Menga papa logule. Kapo papa logule. Wana ko mala kuwe to ako kwa mesakun ko ako wa beneka ko ba ona lawe para faga kono nawo dani we do gela kali lewe ka pra ka kwai lu aya lenga lewe banga ka ki lu aya buho lewe ka play lu aya lenga amo do genga pe ya ya Jabana kaya nyale, si wanya toka mwan, jose non trabo toka mwan. So ne mare money dafo, so ne mare money dafo. Sagere ke kawano, sengo duwa. Palaloge, malay posi ego bere yoga duwa. Jabana kaya nyale, jinde akpa toka mwa. We valoke iwa nyale na, tabako wacha. Do aloko na wa nyale na. Para mapela lesa we ponga o. Yeke masila lesa wa leti bako. Swagger back go. Papa kwaja. Mega papa lo kuwe. Ka bon para ko para kuwe. Para ko para kuwe to wa ko kwa mesaku. To wa ko wa bene ka. Ko wa ba wonu alawe. Ko la faga kono nabo. Great Ayalinga. Why? Say plan para pena ya. Pasa prevese so no ya la baba. Palo tapre, pega pro se pumaya. U contra kote umera. Mana se to toka mwa. Mana se to toka mwa. Pati eso.
Let me welcome you to my Nefs and Abraka talk show. Here we discuss the truth. You know, this is a music that when you rejoice in your spirit, when the good things are happening, this is the music that you play. So tonight we'll be bringing you Alex William. I will not talk nothing about him, but he will speak for himself. Take a look.
It's good to have you, Mr. William.
Thank you so much, Stanton, and let me say thank you to the Spoon family. I will try as much as possible tonight to control my emotion. But you should understand that I will sometimes get very emotional, and I will use some languages that I will try not to use. So the very first thing I will say to you, Stanton, and to the people of Liberia is that I'm very ashamed. I'm very disappointed, and it's one of the saddest moments in my life for a person who I laid down my entire life for, my entire youthfulness for. Some of you don't know, but in the CDC, I went to prison along with Chairman Moruba Moru. when we asked for the resignation of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. November 7, I was Councillor Tottenham and the president today. We went through the bullets and the beating. On several occasions, we were arrested and placed behind bars for President Weah. People call all kinds of names when we're on the university campus because of the CDC. CDC is the first political party that I've joined, and I've never envisioned in my entire life that I will be a member of any political party. I've supported President Weah all along from his days contesting for the Senate up to today. I can recall during the Senate election, I was in the war room at Honorable Edwin Snow's house when we were targeting the vote for President Weah. The second round election in 2017, I served as the data or war room head. I formulated all of the strategy, all of the system. Within less than 24 hours, I got 99.24% of the total results, which was 5,390 polling places in Liberia. And we were the one who published the result that today President Weah became president. And all through what I have thought to do is to be honest to this president and to this government that I've struggled for all of my entire youthfulness to serve my country. I've always told people that over hundreds of thousands and million people supported Ambassador Weah like me, some more qualified than me. And so when I got the opportunity to serve in government, I thought it was a privilege and not a right. And because of that, I thought to serve with diligence, with integrity, because it is not about President Weah alone. It is about the vast majority of the poor, ordinary Liberian people that we promise that will give them better opportunity and better hope when we assume state power. But today, it is an irony. And I'm very disappointed. I'm very frustrated. And that is why today I may somehow and sometimes become emotional. But let me go to the issue. The first thing I want to say to the president today is that, Mr. President, apparently your legal advisors and your advisors are now informing you. I am not a presidential appointee. I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. I today encourage the office of the president to show you any communication where the president appointed me as Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing. There's no such communication. I also encourage you to go to the Senate. If there is one picture or video of confirmation of Alex Williams, nobody should believe me in Liberia and the world at large. So I'm not a presidential appointee. I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. The president did not hire me, and as such, the president cannot fire me. If you read the LISGIS Act, and Stanton, I have sent you a provision of the LISGIS Act. If you read section 58.2 of the LISGIS Act that was enacted into law in 2004 under the transitional government, it says clearly that an institution is established, and it talks about the president at first appointing the director general, and that the board of directors for LISGIS shall appoint the 3 deputies. That's the law. It does not say the president appoints the deputy, and the law is before you. And Mr. Wilmot Smith and Alex Williams was never appointed by the president. We were appointed by the board. And I have sent you, Stanton, my appointment letter after successfully completing 3 months of probation when the board appointed me. It is very clear. So that's the first thing I wanted to make clear, that I do not work at the will and pleasure of the president. And I was never appointed by the president. I was appointed by the board. Next thing I want to say to you, Stanton, I also sent to you a communication dated September 29 of this year, where I wrote the board an email asking them to grant me the opportunity to leave, to resign as Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing. That communication is before you. On the 29th of September, the European Union ambassador is a member of the board of LISGIS. His email is in that communication. and all other board members. And I asked them to resign because on August 25th, there was a board meeting. And that board meeting decided and derived that I was illegally suspended as census project coordinator in February by my boss, and that they have investigated and found me not guilty, but that rather Mr. William Smith, Mr. Lawrence George, and Francis Weah were guilty of corruption, rampant corruption, misuse of government funds, and as such, I should preside over the census. That was August 25th this year. And they also told them to turn over my vehicle that they had seized from me for over 2 months. They returned my vehicle. When I went back to serve as census project coordinator, Mr. Smith started to hinder the progress of the census. While I was being reinstated as census project coordinator, Mr. Smith was having meetings at Bel Air Casa and at the City Hall and other places on the census-related activities, with all my knowledge and with all my consent. But before that, I must say to you that the government of Liberia in 2019 spent $25,000 United States dollars to send me to the Czech Republic, the University of Prague, to study a master in official statistics. And I obtained a double master in official statistics with distinction, with honor. And I decided that I would do a thesis squarely focusing on Liberia's census, on how Liberia would transition her census from a traditional based approach to a combined approach and subsequently to a fully registered based approach. Because for instance, in 2015 in the Netherlands had a population at the time of over 12 million. And only 15% did the entire Netherlands census in 2015, using just 1.5 million. And that census was fully registered based. And I thought it would be appropriate that we use Liberia's census to transition forward, because we are always not having census most of the time because of financial constraint. And so we will use this as a benchmark to lay the basis and foundation for subsequent censuses. And so during my regime as Deputy Director General for Statistics, for the first time in our country history, we transitioned the census from papi to capi. That is from pen and paper interviewing to computer-assisted personal interviewing. It was under my leadership. We crafted the census project document. We did the budget and everything. And so when I finished my school and returned, I decided that I got a scholarship to do a PhD, and I decided I would pursue a PhD. While I was in Ghana processing my resident permit, I got a call from Minister Weah that I should return to the country because the partners, the World Bank, the UNFPA, and other people wanted me to come back because the census were having a lot of challenges, and they wanted me to help to solve those challenges. And I have a recording to that effect. And I told Minister Weah that if I'm coming back to LISGIS, people should be willing to ensure that we have a transparent census, very professional and ethical, without any form of corruption and embarrassment. He consented, he agreed. In fact, Minister Weah is on record for telling my boss that I was taking all the census and my boss should never interfere in anything that has to do with the census. I have a recording to that effect. It's not they say, and Minister Weah can never deny that. And so because I thought it would be important that I come back and serve my country, I returned. The cartographic activity or the mapping exercise of the census was not on course. There were a lot of other challenges. When I returned, I placed all of those things along with the team, and we successfully mapped this entire country. We mapped this entire country and divided it into smaller parts that we call enumeration area. We had over 13,480 enumeration areas across the country. That's the first phase of the census, which is the cartographic aspect. After that, we went and did the pilot census. The pilot census is like if you are going to play a football game and you decide to go in with your player to practice. So we test the methodology of the census, the questionnaire, the instrument, the logistical arrangement, all of those things. During that period, we also calculate what we call the length of time it takes for an interview. That is what we use. That is one of the reasons why I decided that we would transition the census from the papi to the capi, because when you use the computer-assisted personal interview, you collect what we call para data. The para data, for instance, tells you the number of time an enumerator takes to complete a particular household. And so on the basis of the para census, you can now estimate and say that it will take you 1 day or 2 days or 10 days to complete the entire census. These are things Wilmer Smith don't have any understanding and does not even know. These are things that people like us who struggle, sacrifice for our country to come back and do the right thing, is being bottlenecked and being stuffed with and being embarrassed with. And so when I returned and started the census, it all went smoothly. During the pre-test or pilot census, lists started to come from here and there. Before even the census, the pilot census, we went to Ghana. I and Professor Francis Ray, the then CTA, Ibrahim Sisi, and the GIS director, Thomas David, went to Ghana in July of last year because Ghana was conducting her census from July 4th to July 14th. We spent 10 days in Ghana to understand how they were conducting the census and everything. And one of what we even realized is that the cartographic mapping exercise we did in Liberia were far sophisticated in Ghana. And they were even asking us how did we succeed in doing these things. And in fact, the model that we use today is now being used by ArcGIS all around the world. People are even wanting to learn from Liberia how we did this for the very first time. And we came back, one of what I saw in Ghana and thought it was useful to come and replicate in Liberia census was that Ghana had an exclusive census website. And on that census website, they had an e-portal or e-recruitment site. I have the receipt in my possession. When we return to Liberia, we have a conversation. They agree that we should go a digital recruitment exercise because there is a fully digital census. I have communication to show you that I requested on 2 different occasions for resources to provide for the payment of domain and hosting account and SSL for the domain and hosting account for the census website. They refused. I personally paid with my own cash. I personally paid with my own cash. I have that receipt. We set up the census website. We set up the e-recruitment portal. When we launched the pilot census phase, Minister Tua was there, the Swedish ambassador was there, and other dignitaries were there. They were very impressed about the e-recruitment portal. We demonstrated it. People were excited. For the very first time in the country history, that we were going to recruit people through a transparent process. And that people were going to apply and will know when they apply, who are they and where they apply from. And I have all of the databases and data in my possession. And so we decided that all those who will apply and who will be selected for the census must go through the e-recruitment exercise. After the e-recruitment exercise application process completed, when we were about to shortlist, then we started seeing name from this other place, name from this other place, name from this other place. And I have email in my possession, tons, to show you that I said this cannot be the order of the day. This is an e-recruitment portal. If you are not in the e-recruitment portal, you cannot be shortlisted no matter who you are, no matter where the list is coming from. Because this is what you guys promised me. Besides, we cannot shortlist someone who did not apply. Many people don't know, but for instance, in Ivory Coast, last census was never accepted because of similar pattern. Statistics, the soul and intent of official statistics all around the world is international comparability. That is, when you produce a GDP figure in Liberia, it must be synonymous to what is in Sierra Leone, what is in Ivory Coast, and what is in all around the world, because we have international standards. And so we cannot be different from the rest of the world. So we set up this portal. People have applied, and now you bring in lists from this place, you bring in lists from this place, who are not in the application portal. I said, no, we cannot do that. And so people thought I was recalcitrant. They felt that I didn't want to listen, and they started to do all manner of things. We were on just the list for over 2 weeks, back and forth. Just the list to put out. We needed just 266 persons. Wilmer Smith brought a listing of over 186 names that did not apply. I have it in my possession. And we went back and forth. They set up a committee and said, go and review the list. All those who did not apply, we went ahead, we set up a committee, we defined a methodology for selection. We shortlisted those who should be in the portal. We sent it to them. They refused to accept that listing. At the end of the day, the Director General, Weah Smith, and rest of people decided that they would publish a listing that they wanted to publish that had a lot of names of people who did not apply. And so when they went together in the office and they told the Director General, but you are the head of the entity, Ellis just one person. So you can go ahead and publish the listing, when in fact the Director General is aware that as census project coordinator, I must be a signatory to the listing before it put up. It is placed out. They went ahead and published the listing. All I did was to write and document them that I am not part of this list. I do not own up to it. The processes leading to this list is erroneous. And what did my boss even do? My boss went and sent that official list to even the UNFPA and other partners. And when you open the list that he sent to these partners, and I have the email in my possession in the list, you will see this other person, you see a name, the names on there, you see Weah Smith, you see a name on it, you see this other person, you see the name on it. And I have email in my possession to show you that the partners wrote against the listing that this is wrong. That we had to even manage that situation to successfully conduct the pilot census. Minister Weah is aware. We went in Minister Weah's office on this very listing, and Minister Weah was supporting. That is why tonight I'm not going to mince my words for Minister Weah, because Minister Weah is a C-square liar. He's a C-square liar, meaning he's a certified career liar. And he lied to the Liberian people. He came on the Spoon Network and other places and saying, okay, today and tomorrow, I'm going to unveil who Minister Weah actually is, and how embarrassing he is to this government and this country, and how insincere he is. And what I say with facts. The last time I was on Spoon, when I talk with documentation. I came here tonight, I brought sufficient documentation. I have more than 596 exhibits of wrongdoings that have been occurring at LISGIS that nobody can contest. And so that was how the pilot census went. We managed that. We successfully conducted the pilot census. The pilot census was to be used to inform us on the conduct of the actual census. They ignore everything. When Lawrence George came and the rest of the other people, they decided they would alter the entire census project document. Lawrence George was only interested in buying things, so he wanted to buy this one, he wanted to buy this other one. When in fact the census project document is very clear that the census had a census steering committee, had a census commission, has a census project management team, and all of those various organs. The census secretarial aspect of the census project document runs the day-to-day activity of the census, including procurement, logistics, whatever you can think about. And the census secretariat is headed by the census project coordinator. It's a project. If you read the principles and recommendation revision 3 of the United Nations population, United Nations, it will tell you that census is the largest and biggest undertaking any country can undertake during the time of peace. And it lists you all of the various organs and structures that must be put in place to run the census. And so that is how they started to behave. And because of that, because I refused to dance to the whim and caprices of these corrupt individuals, we went to a meeting on February 10th, and Minister Weah and myself attended that meeting. I was online. That very day, I have my medical report to show that I went to the 14th military hospital. And because of that, I told my bosses prior to the meeting that I will not be in person because I'm going to the 14th military hospital. But I will join online. The meeting started 2 o'clock. I was online 2 o'clock. Minister Weah came online 5 minutes after 2. 30 minutes after 2, the LISGIS folks was never in the UN headquarters for the meeting. So Minister Weah asked, but where are the LISGIS people? And I have the recording, the Zoom recording also to that effect. And I answered Minister Weah, I said, I'm online. And I did ask my boss in order for excuse that I won't be in person because I just came from the 14th Military Hospital. In fact, I'm still driving. After that meeting, because they already wanted to get at me, they wrote my boss wrote a communication on February 17, suspending me for time indefinite as census project coordinator. How can you suspend me when you are not the one who appointed me? I have the communication from Minister Weah that he wrote on June 29, 2021, appointing me as census project coordinator, sending the communication to the UNFPA resident rep at the time, Dr. Barnett, who is now the regional director for Central Africa UNFPA head office. And you are also on record, Minister Weah, for telling this Director General to stay away from the census because the UNFPA and other partners are complaining. The Swedish and other people are complaining. How can you now sit and this director tells you that he suspend me and I go to you and you cannot take any action? Only because Weah Smith was the one who crafted the communication, and Weah Smith and Minister Weah knows exactly why both of them are in, for which he cannot take action against Weah Smith. But whatever Minister Smith and Weah is in, it cannot be at the detriment of the state. It cannot be at the detriment of Liberian people. And so from that time, February up to August 25th, I have been complaining, writing series of communication before the board decided to assemble. Minister Weah came to the August 25th meeting with the intent to legitimize Mr. Smith as acting Director General of LISGIS. When the LISGIS Act before you is very clear that in the act of the Director General, the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing shall act. In the absence of both the Director General and the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing, the Deputy for Information Coordination, which is the position Weah Smith occupies, shall act. So it is clearly written in black and white. Just like, for example, at the legislature, in the absence of the Speaker, the Deputy Speakers resume function. The Speaker has no authority to say while the Deputy Speaker is there that another person should act. It's illegal. It's wrong. But Minister Weah is supporting Weah Smith illegally and criminally because he knows exactly what both of them are involved into. And so I've not been having problems. So when they reinstated me as census project coordinator, I wrote a technical note, and starting I'll send to you the technical note. And I say even the cover copy, you need to place it up. And you ask Honorable Larry Yanko and other people, they will tell you that I wrote a technical. The very first thing they did, they misled the president and told the president that everything was ready for census to be conducted on October 24th. Minister Weah always have a way of engaging the partners and other people to write letters that are not in place. He always have a way of doing that. And so the partners, along with Minister Weah, wrote a letter to the president informing the president that everything was set and that census would have gone on in October. And if that census didn't go in October, that the people would take the tablets that we brought from Ghana, and I will have to pay $5 million for tablets and all those kinds of things they wrote in the committee, which is a complete trash. Because I was one of those who led the delegation from Liberia to negotiate for the 21,000 tablets and power bank we bought from Ghana. Ghana is not in need of the 21,000 tablets and power bank as we speak today, because Ghana purchased over 40,000 tablets and power banks. Ghana is going to be conducting only inter-census surveys until 10 years. 10 years from now, Ghana may not even need those tablets because technology might have improved, things might have advanced. I cannot even guarantee you that 10 years after that, those tablets will be useful. No. And Ghana is a sister country of ours. If we are able to talk to Ghana and say to Ghana that, look, we are having these challenges and constraints that the pilot census have revealed to us, and on the basis of that, we cannot have the census in October, but we have the census in November or in December or next year, Ghana will be more than gracious to grant all those wishes. But they went and lied to the president that everything was okay, no money was stolen, and that census was on course. And so I wrote the bill and I wrote the legislature a technical note informing them that census was never on course and things was not okay. When we went to the legislature, the House invited us. The UNFPA team, along with Wilmer Smith, went there along with me on the other side. And the UNFPA team and Wilmer Smith told the leadership of the House that everything was okay and that census was set for October 24th and that the legislature should pass a joint resolution. Because Article 39 of our Constitution clearly states that only the legislature has the sole authority to cause a census. And how does the legislature cause a census? Is through passing a joint resolution. And I spoke in that meeting, and you can call Honorable Larry Yankwa, he will authenticate what I said. You can call the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Fonati Kofa, if he's truthful. If he's truthful, he will tell you exactly what I said. And I told them that nothing was ready and that the legislature should not pass a joint resolution for October 24 because it would be a waste and that the census will not be held. After I spoke and the rest of my other colleagues spoke, these were the words of the Deputy Speaker, and I still have them in my Medulla Oblongata. And the Deputy Speaker told me that the UNFPA people, our international friends, and women and other people have told us that the census can be here. You alone cannot tell us, and we listen to you. So we'll go ahead. And they went ahead and they signed a joint resolution. Honorable Cordoba here apparently might have been a signatory to that resolution, or he might have heard, he can attest to that. They signed a joint resolution for the census to be conducted on October 24th. Less than a week to October 24th, my colleagues again went back to the legislature to tell the legislature that everything was not okay and that they wanted November 7th. I was in that meeting. And the Deputy Speaker got so angry in that meeting that he had to insult and walk out of the meeting. That the UNFPA and Wilmer Smith came to them and they lied to them that things were okay and indeed things were not okay, and now they are coming back to say things are not okay and they want to be extended to November 7th. Honorable Larry Yankwa was in that meeting. Honorable James Colette from Bon County was in that meeting. Honorable Francis Dopo was in that meeting. And many other lawmakers you can call will attest to that. When I even asked them to grant me the opportunity to explain to them the actual challenges the census were facing, and that even the November 7th that my colleagues were asking for was not feasible, no one gave me the floor. And that's why I'm very disappointed in Speaker Chimbo. Because when some of us were at the University of Liberia, we were very impressed about the behavior of Speaker Chimbo when he was then not a speaker. I remember the very first political struggle I took on the University of Liberia campus. Speaker Chimbo came to our defense when the police wanted to harass us. Today, Speaker Chimbo must look in the mirror and ask himself whether he is the same Speaker Chimbo or if he's the same buffer Chimbo of yesterday. Because this is a buffer Chimbo and this is a speaker who I have personally and many other people sent to him the LISGIS report. That is why when Minister Tuer came here a few days ago and lied to the Liberian people that he did not receive the LISGIS report, I was astonished. Because on the very same September 29, I sent Minister Tuer a copy, a final report of the LISGIS report to all of the board members, including Minister Tuer. I even sent it as far as in his WhatsApp, and it changed green to indicate that Minister Tuer saw it. But this is a deceptive and pathological liar, Minister Tuer, who will come on the radio and inform the Liberian people that he is not aware about a particular content or communication or report is false. Minister Tuer told you people that in the meeting he called the Justice Minister to ask for the report, and the Justice Minister said he did not receive a copy of the report and so forth. Why didn't Minister Tuer call the LISGIS head? Who did the report? If Minister Tuer was genuine about that, that was since August 25th. He came on your show a few days ago, months after. Why didn't he call the LISGIS chairperson to ask the LISGIS chairperson where's the report if he's genuine and sincere? Minister Tuer was dilly-dallying in somersaulting here a few days ago and telling you, at one point, when started asking about a luscious 160,000, he said he didn't know and he was going to ask Weah. On the same show, when the CEO asked him whether Elisha was in the building here along with him, and he confirmed, and then he started to say that he had asked Weah. Weah said he gave the man money for PR and all those kind of things. That's nonsense. That's pure nonsense. And Minister Tuer must stop. I wonder why people don't understand every time there's an election or we are going to season, government salary and government employees cannot get a salary on time. Is Minister Tuer working for other entity or other groups? Is Minister Tuer an agent against this government? That only when festive season is reaching, election time is reaching, then civil servant and other people cannot get their pay? And Minister Tuer will come here and be jumboing and asking people dilly-dallying and all kinds of things, thinking he's providing some form of intellectualism. You cannot lie to the Liberian people. You must stop this. The old lady who goes to bed hungry every day, you cannot go and tell her that she's eating. And that is why my brother Keith, who have never been to Liberia since President Weah was elected, do not understand the struggle some of us went through in prison and other places. Sometimes I get also disappointed in him because he just blindly support the president and blindly support the government. And he must stop that. But to the issue at bay, Stanton, you are aware that I tendered in my letter of resignation since Saturday. On Thursday, a day before the census, Weah Smith called on OKFM and said that everything was ready. I called on the very OKFM and informed the Liberian people in the world at large that nothing was okay. Why did I say nothing was okay? I am an official statistician. I'm a member of the European Statistical Commission. I'm a member of the Global Network of Data Officer and Official Statistician. I'm not a child. I'm not a kid. This is my field. I know why we're talking. All around the world, before you conduct enumeration, you have to do what we call canvassing of the EA and household listing. And that has to be done a minimum 3 days before the counting, which is the day of the proclamation. Census in actuality is just 1 day. The reason why we say 10 days is because the very day that we do the census, there is a huge possibility that we may not meet Mr. John or Mr. Peter or whosoever at his or her residence. And so we have to do a follow-up, which we call callbacks. And because of that callbacks, we allot 9 days for that. But the actual day for census is just 1. It's just 1. And in the entire sub-Saharan Africa and the world, you must do a minimum of 50% of the population on day 1. I mean, I don't understand why Minister Tuer, why Weah Smith, and other people who have no expertise, no knowledge in statistics and census will just go all over the place, misinform the president, lie to the Liberian people about census. They don't know it. And so, how can you be having census on Friday? You have not even completed training the enumerators. I can tell you there are places in Compound 3, in Gobley. I can tell you there are places in Yapata, in River Cess, and many other places where enumerators have not even completed their training. They have not even done the post-test. There was no final listing of supervisors and enumerators as of Thursday. People have not even received their certificate. You took people to training for 10 days, some 7 days, some 5 days, from in the morning to in the evening. You did not give them food. You did not give them water to drink. You put over 180 persons in a classroom meant for 40 persons. 8 persons you gave to one tablet. Some places people did not even see the tablet. How can you provide training in such an environment? I have a C certificate in education. When you do testing and methodology in instructional media, it's absolutely erroneous. Learning cannot occur in such an environment. You are doing digital census. We have 148 training centers. The government have over 1,000 plus schools, maybe even 3,000 the last time I checked. We place in the budget of the census $50 United States per day for hall rental for 10 days. We know fully well there's nowhere in Liberia that you rent hall for $50. But the reason we placed $50 in our budget was because we were going to maximize the utilization of government facilities. And so the intent of the $50 was not in actuality to rent, but to provide some form of subsidies for janitorial services, where these people will have tissue, toiletries, and other things. That was the essence. Weah Smith is not aware. He was not part of the crafting of this project document, but you gave him it to go and do. And so you messed the entire thing. And so you congest the area. You are having a digital census, people who are supposed to go count. Up to today, I can show you in the chat room. People don't even know their supervisor. People don't even know where they are assigned. As of today, we have the census dashboard that I work along with my colleagues, and we brought a specialist from Unica to set up Liberia census dashboard for the very first time. So you see real-time counting. As people are being counted, you see a real-time. I challenge my colleague tonight to publish the census dashboard. If you see one person who have been counted, no Liberian should trust me. Let them publish the census dashboard, because the census dashboard will show you real time those who have been counted and where they have been counted. We introduce these things as a means of counter checking the progress of the census when we should have resumed, so that we can know in area A or area X or area Y, this is the level of counting that has been done so far in XYZ. And all these people and all these things were not in place. No setting fee, no contract. People are demonstrating all over the country, and you say you're having census, and you're telling people on Thursday that you're going to count the people on Friday, when you have not done the household listing, you have not canvassed the EA. How are you going to count the people? To count people, you have to do first the canvassing. That is, the enumerator must go to his assigned area to know that he's assigned in area A. He goes to area A, look at the boundaries of area A to determine where he's going to start and where he's going to end. That's canvassing. When he understands his assignment, the next thing he's going to do is he's going to do household listing and numbering of the structures. That is, he's going to make sure that each structure within his enumeration area has a unique number. And then he's going to determine also the number of household heads in his entire enumeration area. And we set Liberia census in such a way that the average household size for our enumeration area is between 80 households to 120 households. And the average household size for Liberia is 4.2 person per household size. That was revealed even by the household income and expenditure survey that we did in 2016. The pilot census, when we did it, also showcased that it has now increased just by a percentage point margin of 0.1. So the current average household size for Liberia is 4.3. So what that means is somebody has an enumeration area of 80, he's multiplying 80 times 4.3. Or 120 times 4.3. And then we ran a regression analysis using para data to tell us how long it's going to take for this person to finish. It's a hard assignment. But women will never tell you this. Women went the last time on EIBC and said we'll use the census result for inflation. He does not understand what he's talking. Inflation is basically CPI, Consumer Price Index. That's general rise in the price level. We do it on a monthly basis. Census is every 10 years. So we should wait for 10 years to tell the inflation rate in Liberia. That's insanity. He said we'll use it to do GDP. GDP is national account. We are currently using the SNA 2008 scheme of account. That's value added. It's basically gross domestic product. Productivity in a given economy for a given year or given period, we do it on a quarterly basis or semi-annually or annually basis. It's not related to census. But this is a man who did not even have the credibility to conduct the household food distribution SSI mapping phase for the country during the coronavirus. And I have documentation email in my possession and a written letter from the Director General Francis Weah that he wrote the bill requesting women to resign because women is incompetent and women is corrupt. A woman could not give account of funding. I have that communication. Minister Weah has that communication in his possession. But Minister Weah cannot muster the courage to say, Mr. Smith, you are embarrassing this country, you are embarrassing the government, you don't know anything.
Let's take a break. Let's just take a few seconds and, give the guys a chance to, man, wow, Liberians.
So
I want us to come in a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, but let me conclude Stanton on this note.
Yeah, conclude on that line, please.
So you have my communication. I resigned Saturday. When I resigned Saturday, the government called me that the content of your communication is embarrassing. Please do not go out to the media. Do not leak it out to the media because we feel that you are working for opposition. It is against all. It will be embarrassing and all those kinds of things. James Botte of Voice of America interviewed me. I told Mr. Botte not to proceed with putting out the interview because I decided to respect it. Then I also sent to you, Stanton, a communication from the gender minister yesterday responding to my resignation. And I also sent you the email. Fine. I also sent you the email to show the date, the time, the hour that I resigned from government. How can I resign from government? You are appealing to me not to go public. But then you go on e-marshal and write and say you dismiss me. What kind of nonsense is that? And you lying to the president because the president is not God. The president don't know everything, and he's not expected to know everything. He relies on people like you, Minister Weah. And you allow the president to dismiss me when you know that I'm not a presidential appointee. You embarrass the presidency, Minister Weah. And this is not your first time. This is not your first time. I've come back to Liberia. I've received a lot of threats. People go to my house. They attack me. You send stooges. People are telling me all over the place. And I must say to Minister Weah and the government, everybody today, I'm not afraid of anybody. I have only one life. And the day I'm supposed to die, I will die on that day. By whatever means I'm supposed to die, I will die. I am not afraid of people. You should stop telling me. You should stop sending your people to harm me. Because this country is not for you alone, Minister Weah. This country is for every one of us, and you will not run me out of this country. You will not run me out of this country. I must say this now to the international community and to the public that my life is at stake. And if anything happens to me, Minister Weah must be held liable. On many occasions, they are sending people to harm me and do all kinds of things. I am here and I am here. I am here and I am here. So, Stanton, that's the actual fact as to what has been happening. I resigned. You have my communication long before today, Stanton. I appeal to you not to even publish it because I wanted to respect them. I appeal to you not to publish it, but today you come back and tell me that you dismiss me. I'm a young man. I have my integrity. I take my character. Mr. President, let me inform you that today I went to LISGIS. Today I was at LISGIS, Mr. President. I took all of my personal belongings, Mr. President. And tomorrow I'm turning in my vehicle and the laptop that I have in my possession for LISGIS in the government of Liberia. I'm far bigger than a deputy director general position. I have my life on the line. I have my country to serve. It is not about a position, it's about service. And maybe I'll stop here, Stanton.
You know what, Alex? Thank you very much. Thank you a lot. Listen. Damn. I wish we have more of you. I want to say, may God bless you. And thanks for the courage. This is great. Liberians in Liberia, outside of Liberia, listen to you. Yes, indeed. You told me, you said, Stanton, please do not share my letter of resignation. When you wrote the letter, when you spoke to them, you gave me all this information, and I respected you. Because that's what we do in this field, because we have to respect each other and trust each other. But what happened today when you told me, Sister Stanton, I'm coming on, I just couldn't ask you to hold back, because this is bigger. So I'm going to bring in the guys. We're going to discuss the issue, what we heard from you. But let me ask you, before the rest of the team join in, Alex, sorry for everything you have gone through. Sorry for everything you have gone through. But today is day number 4. You resigned on the 12th. We got that letter. Today, the president said he fired you. Whatever the case may be, as you leave LISGIS, you're out. You're going to turn the vehicles and everything. Let me ask you, Alex, where are you leaving LISGIS and the census?
I'm leaving LISGIS and the census in a state of chaos, in tatter, in ruins. I'm leaving LISGIS in a situation that is very, very pitiful. Stanton, I'm going to say this again on record, that if you gave Weah Smith and the rest of the team at LISGIS even up to January 15 to continue counting, they will not count half of the population of this country. They will not count half of the population of this country. Why do I say so? On the day of proclamation is the D-Day. It's the day you are supposed to count not less than 50%. If you miss out on it, the rest of the days are for callback. The Liberian people are tired already. They know that it was a fiasco. Nobody went to them. Everywhere on Census Day. As we speak today, people are even looking still for where they are assigned. People are even asking and demanding for the sitting fee before they go on the field. Nothing happening anywhere, Stanton. So this census is going to be a census of uselessness. The data is going to be useless, as the individuals conducting the census or heading the census are useless.
Wow.
There will be no reason and absolutely nothing you can do with this data. It is poor, and they must muster the courage to cut it off, because they are going to be wasting resources both from the partners, the donors, and the government. As I speak to you, for example, in Lofa, there is over 23% who did not go through the training. They have received more than $200 United States dollars, 2 times what other people are receiving. People are receiving payment 2 times, 3 times. They did not participate in the training. They are not on the final listing, but they are receiving that money. So they just pay money to people who they don't even know. Even the final listing, they just put out again today because every day they change it. You have, I can tell you, there are over 3,000 persons in that list who did not apply and who never started training. That's simple Excel. That's simple Excel. So we are not prepared. We are not ready. This thing is shameful. Muster the courage, cut it off. Remove Weah Smith, Lawrence George, Francis Ray, who the LSCC have investigated and found guilty of corruption. Bring new people who have credibility, who know the subject matter. Let them preside over the institution and the census. Give Liberians a hope. Conduct new training. Pay those people who you owe. And let's have the census early next year. Because we cannot have the census anymore going forward in December because the people are tired, they are frustrated. And during even December, the middle of December, we're going to festive season. If you go all around the world, it's not a good time to have census because there will be huge migration trend. Emigration and immigration. For Liberia instance, for example, we experience a lot of Decembers. So you do not conduct census at the peak of migration. Because why? When you do census, beyond census, we do what we call extrapolation of the population. For example, if you go on the US Census Bureau website right now, you will see every second the population of America is changing. The reason the population of America is changing because they are taking into consideration two major factors: natural increase and artificial increase. Natural increase, they look at birth and death. Artificial increase, they look at emigration and immigration. And so you use these two data sets to extrapolate the population, that is to project. Extrapolation means to project the population beyond census people, period. And we use the left table. So if you have the census in December, the peak of December, what you're doing, you'll be having a wrong migration trend. So if you use such a migration trend for extrapolation of the population beyond the census period, it will be erroneous.
Let me ask you a question, Alex. Alex, thank you very much. Let me ask you my second question. We can bring in the rest of the guys, though. Why, through it all, why you think Samuel D. Tweed Jr. refused to let go of Lawrence George and Weah Smith? Just briefly.
Stanton, I will appeal to you tomorrow to come on the show to show to the Liberian people bank statements, transfers, and where those bank statements, where those transfers are going, and how and why and how Minister Tweed is constrained and forced to protect Weah Smith and the rest of the other people. I will show you those things.
Wow.
You saw Aloysius Howard from the beginning, they were denying. It's not just Aloysius Howard alone who is with the minister who's receiving money from LISGIS. There are many other individuals. You will see transfer going to Ivory Coast. Who's in Ivory Coast? Which account in Ivory Coast are those resources going to? Minister Tweed must tell the Liberian people. Minister Tweed cannot be involved in himself in all kinds of criminal activities. He's a criminal. He is a certified career liar and criminal. He must tell the Liberian people where their money are going, because I will tell the Liberian people beginning tomorrow where their money are going. Minister Tweed came here and lied to you people that he only sent $300,000 Liberian to LISGIS census account, and LISGIS, nobody from LISGIS management is the signatory to the census account. He does not even know where he's talking. I will show you checks. I will show you the check numbers. I will show you the date of deposit. I will show you withdrawals. Let Minister Tweed tell the Liberian people they are lying. He said LISGIS people are not signatory to the account. Go to Echo Bank today. Lawrence George is a signatory to the census account. Francis Ray is a signatory to the census account. Dominic Pay, who is the controller, is a signatory to the census account. Why is he lying to the Liberian people that LISGIS management are not signatory to the census account? When the Director General, the Deputy Director General for Administration, the controller are signatory to the account. All the money that's sent to us and where to it go to that account, except for the last money that he sent directly to the UNFPA when they were being pressurized in May. The rest of the other money goes to that account. More than $3 million United States dollars have gone to that account. More than 97 million Liberian dollars have gone to that account. What is he telling us?
Thank you. And I know for the folks that just joining us, we have G, Alex, and Williams. And again, as he said, we'll be doing part 2 tomorrow. Part 2 of revealing more checks stubs and checks information, bank information. We'll have the full discussion tomorrow. And Liberians need to know the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us, oh God. Let me bring in the representative is on the show. Yeke Koloba, you're going to ask 2 questions. We'll bring in Sentumani George Kev Hassan. Dr. Peabody will be back to ask this question. And then we will go to our sister, Dr. Richardson. Honorable Yeke.
Stanton, the first thing I want to ask, can we guarantee his safety for tonight? Can we guarantee his safety for tonight? If we cannot guarantee his safety for tonight, then I'd rather he go home.
We are working on it, Honorable Yeke. We are.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I will also like to be involved because we need to guarantee his safety for tonight because what he revealing.
Check your cell phone. After you ask your question, check your cell phone.
Okay, what he's revealing right now is too damaging to keep him vulnerable to the public. We cannot do that because he's very important to this process. What he's revealing right now, he's indicting a lot of people and he's going to do more by evidence. So we have to be very careful. Weah, what your name, sir? Sorry. Look, so what you think the way forward now? Yeah, Alice, what you think the way forward now with getting the credible information that Melvin could have his chairlady husband David one David as the chair of LISGIS in Bon County. We're getting information, credible information. Melvin could and all protecting, we're not paying others. Can you tell the Liberian people if the David guy is the chair for LISGIS in Bon County? That is the husband of Jebe Goulding. So David Goulding.
So let me say this to you: the information you gave me is 100% correct, and let me expound on it more.
Thank you.
The solar lights that is to LISGIS head office, those solar lights were brought in by Melvin Cole. That is at LISGIS office. And the reason Melvin Cole brought those solar lights to Lawrence George, remember now, Lawrence George and Weah Smith and Weah Smith as well as Melvin Cole are from the NPP. Lawrence George and Weah Smith worked with the Charles Taylor government at the Ministry of State. Lawrence George was Deputy Minister for Administration. Weah Smith was the one trading the gas slips and other things for Lawrence George. That's how they became partner in crime from way back, the Charles Taylor days. When Weah Smith was at the University of Liberia, was part of SUP, when the Student Unification Party would discuss in a meeting, Weah Smith would be the one leaking the information out to the regime at the time. So Stanton and that of Honorable Cordoba, all of the county statistic offices is under the Department of Statistics and Data Processing that I had. The director of Bon County passed out some time ago. I think it should be, yes, last year he died. And so that place, that position became vacant. I can confirm to you that the vice president had an interest in who gets that position. At the same time, Melvin Cole had interest in who gets the position. As his own way of ensuring that his interest was met, he went and brought in solar lights, paid some money to Lawrence George, without consulting me as head of the county statistic offices. Lawrence George went ahead, wrote a communication along with the Director General, and they appointed the fellow you're talking about. I can also confirm to you, in the office of Lawrence George, Melvin Cole has a friend of the opposite sex in that office. I can confirm to you that. I can also confirm to you the reason Melvin Cole was so angry when I went to the house that day and he decided to interrupt me was because Melvin Cole also knows about many other things that are going on, alleges that are illegal and criminal. So that is the way I would want to answer your question.
So my next question, can you also confirm to this, to the Liberian people, that there are, I will give the listing to, it's being alleged from my source that some of the staff from Melvin Cole office are on the listing of the LISGIS in Bon County?
I will not know all of the staff in the office of Melvin Cole. And so if I can receive the list of those staff who's in his office, I can compare that with what is on the bank statement that I have in my possession, and will be in the best position to tell you whether they are or not.
Okay, thank you. I will send a listing. I'm trying to get a listing. I will send it to Stanton, and he will call the listing. Then maybe you will confirm from that thing.
Let me say here that those of you guys who does not know Alex William, for me, I know him very well. I know Alex William very, very well. Alex William, he is a guy that does not encourage corruption. He does not even say want to be part and parcel of any corruption into our country. That one is started when we were in UL. That is Alex William there for you. For y'all that does not know him, that is he there for you guys. For you guys to be here. And Alex William, he have two masters. Two masters in data analysis. Census, I mean. So you come to play with him like you talking to your sweeper. More to come. Alex Williams was very precise. Alex Williams was concise and precise to the deputy speaker, and that is the one that I'm so annoyed here tonight. Alex Williams was precise and concise with the deputy speaker to tell them that this census, what you guys talking about, this census, it will not be ready. You hear your response. So for me, I call Alex today, and I told you, I said, oh man, you really did it. He said, no, just leave it. More to come. So keep a call coming out on 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. Once more, 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. That is the number to call. For some of you, you don't know him. You don't know him at all. Alex Williams, he is just he is just straight. This is a guy that want eat soup. Want eat soup. When we go visit some of our veterans, what the soup has now will do, they will take the money. Alex Williams will be the only man to say, no, comrades, we should not do that. We are equal. That is the guy there for you guys. So, for some of you guys who does not know him, that is just a prelude for you guys. This is just a prelude. Now take our first caller. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? Hello, caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, caller, what is your name? You got to lower your receiver at your back.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Cyrus, and thank you for relaying the show. You doing a fantastic job. When I listen to, a side in our country that people who stand for principles, who want to see the forward movement of our country,
I'm telling you.
are being chased, by hooligans, by people who barely eat a day in their very homes. It saddens me. When I listen to the guy explaining, what comes to mind is that this guy's life is at stake.
No.
We saw
Go ahead.
we saw how the death of so many people who said they were doing the right thing were murdered in cold blood.
Oh, yes.
Nothing came from out of it.
Oh, yes.
And those guys are using the ordinary people who don't have, whose children go to bed hungry, to run after people who speak for who stand, for them. It saddens me. I listened to that story. I'm sorry that I wasn't, because I was at work when that show was on. But I shed tears. Why are these guys treating Liberia like this? So it is a decision that every one of us who want to see the forward movement of our country has to make, to stand the test of time, to see what can be done to redeem our country. Other than that,
But look,
our family, our friends.
Look, Cora, not to cut you off. This is the guy. Ellis, when we were in UL, Ellis William was part of the CDC. He was part of the CDC.
He said it.
Wow. Why?
Yeah, so it's something that, for us who are in the diaspora, be it America, whatever part of the country, the news that we hear, about corruption and see how our country is in the reverse.
And can you imagine they're saying that the latest money that this Ghana can be sending it, that the finance minister can be sending it to Africans. Unless he have the receipt. He has a check, copy of the check.
And I just hope that he's safe.
No, Satan has been talking. Satan and Yeke Kolba, they are provided men. They are provided men. Before I could come on here 9 o'clock, I spoke to them. There are men that got in here right now. Men, now boys, men. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep your call coming out on 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. That is the number to call once more, 215-824-8124, 215-824-8124. Or you can better call on 215-266-6509. You know, when I call Alex this morning, Alex was taking someone to the hospital when I called him this morning. Alex told me, come around, I'll call you back. When Alex coming back, that's how you hear for yourself. Alex narrated the story. How these Ghana, they are corrupt. The Ghana, they are living on the Liberian people. especially that Smith guy, Wilma Smith. Wilma Smith he is number one corrupt guy. So for me, I just pray that Sir Alex was doing his PhD, and I'm very much proud of him. I am very much proud of him. Yeah. Since Alex was doing a PhD in Ghana, when I meet with him, then he just tried to just leave. Let the men escort Alex all the way to the airport. Now take our next caller. Caller, what is her name and where are you calling her from?
Abby, this is Theophilus Fala calling from Philadelphia.
Theophilus, go ahead.
Abby, it saddens me and breaks my heart to see Liberians who are going through diverse kinds of trials, hardship, and difficulty, still celebrating the leadership of this inept, corrupt, and criminal government in power.
I'm telling you.
We just got to pray for this brother so that it is now time that the international community should not just sit and be quiet, because there are a lot of people who have blown the whistle before and they were being killed. And make a real raise up the red flag that if anything happens to this guy's life, this government will be in a serious mess. Until the international community can do that, this brother's life is not safe. And I pray that he will seek for asylum, that they can take him out of Liberia to bring him over to the state or in Europe.
No, the man,
so that his family cannot lose him.
The man is going to Ghana to go continue his PhD.
Oh, okay, that would be fine.
The man was doing his PhD in Ghana when the federal minister placed call to him to tell him that he has to come. And the federal minister assured this boy. The federal minister assured him that when he comes to Liberia, that he will be the head. He told the federal minister everything before he could come. And the federal minister assured his boss into Ghana.
The final minister know that this boy got most of his secret in his palm, know his in and out, his criminal deeds that he been carrying on against the Liberian people. It was just a trap to set up for Alex to come so that they can do his job. That's all.
But the thing that confuses me, what wrong with the president is the president does not have key advisor to him or what? Because it was not the president. It was not the president that appointed
everything
him.
that is going on in Liberia is not hidden from George Weah. George Weah was in the street. He knows the in total of everything that is happening in that country. Nobody strike or deal without the president knowing. He got his caught. The reason why George Weah is not talking is simply because his hands are placed in the cookies jar. That's all. So if he strike, the people will say a lot of stuff that they know about him. They just put it out in the social media to disgrace him, and that will be the end of his government. So that's why he's afraid to talk.
Yeah, but it was not the president that appointed Alex Williams. That's the thing that really getting to me. It was not the president that appointed Alex Williams, so he was not the one to dismiss him. The board of LISGIS, the board is the one that appointed Alex Williams. Alex Williams never went for confirmations. Because
so that simply means that his dismissal from his job came from the directive from the office of the president. So there is nothing done in Liberia without the president knowing about it. He gets the approval behind closed door. You just take the action and just get rid of the man. That's all. So all we got to pray for is the safety of that boy life. At the end of the day, we just gain one soon money. And Liberian people got to really come to themselves. Seriously.
They will not kill Alex. Alex is much more smart. Alex Williams is much more smart than many of them.
That's my greatest prayer right now, because all those revelations that he gave him.
You watch the show, sitting that king, the show went off. If you were monitoring the show today, Senator King, the show went off. Alex, because they put a temper with the internet.
That's all they will do. That's all we do, because a lot of revelation Alex are putting us out there. This government finished. The Liberian people need to understand this government will not carry that country nowhere. They'll just keep carrying the country into a mess, into disgrace, and into shame. That's all. That government need to go. The Liberian people vote this government back in power. Sorry for them. They'll be walking, dropping dead in the street. I'm going to be friend with you. And I will not be feeling sorry for nobody because they look for it. We told them about it and they did not listen. That's what they're going through now.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the time.
Keep your call coming out on 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. Yeah, that is Alex William. So it wasn't the president that appointed him. It was the board. When the president appoints, you go for confirmations. Nobody can be able to show me a single clip where Alex William went for confirmation. Nobody can be able to show me a single clip. Because Alex William was confirmed by the board. He was appointed by the board. He served in that position for 3 months as acting. Then after the 3 months, the board appointed him. The board went for meeting, and then they appointed him. They said that this board, he knows statistics. Come on, somebody will get 2 masters in data analysis when it comes to statistics. That the man you're playing with. And Alex William had the recording for everything that went on. About everything, he has the recording. So you'll be playing fun. And one thing that I love about SUP, the SUP militant, they already govern themselves. They are to Alex William tonight. The SUP militants. They say they will sleep outside today, outside of Alex William. They will sleep outside. That is the party that we all belong to. You touch one, you touch all. Nonsense. Keep your call coming out on 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. That is the 2 number to call to be part of the Manefson Abraka Talk Show. Or you can better call her on your WhatsApp number on 215-266. Let's take another caller. Caller coming. Let me connect here on the caller. Caller, what is her name and where are you calling her from?
My brother Francis, how you doing? I'm calling from Kentucky. This is Iman.
Iman, go ahead.
Another good show again, and I just want to talk a little bit on Alex. In the beginning of the show, because I watched Spoon today, and I watched Alex when you were giving that testimony, and I was afraid for him. But since Yeke Koluba is involved in his security and other things, and other people and SUP people coming around, so it make him be a free man.
Alex William is free. Alex William is sleeping tonight.
It's not crazy. Two of them will come. Two of them not spend all their time in America and then go back home over there. I think they say they are giant over there. No. And the man background again, that's one of the things.
The man from Nima.
Nima, you touch the Nima, then you're gonna touch they're coming to touch your family too. So I'm not afraid for him. I just waiting for the second show tomorrow and just
I know, right?
The criminals their names. You seeing it? Somebody man. Sometimes my blood be boiling in me because when I see people struggling, people trying to find food to eat, just food to eat, have all the money and wasting it, doing all type of stuff. This is the country money. This is our country. We are not colonized by anybody. We are not having no big hand over or taking our money, our resources. It's controlled by us. Why are we treating each other like this? Why? It's the little country. We are all the same. We all have the same power and rights to the country. Why can't we just share with each other like that? But we pretend like we love each other. And like when people are tired of waiting, we will pray to God, we'll pray to God.
I'm telling you, my brother. I'm telling you.
Later on, you're betting and do this and that. God know how to call it. That's common sense. Your wisdom is, your knowledge is God. Knowledge is God. So use your head and do something for yourself and progress in life. Not every time we wait for God with this and that. Stand for yourself. Stand for yourself. People will come and kill you. God will not stop it. People will come and do something to you. God will not stop it. When last you saw God stopping poverty? We got to be physical. We got to do something physically now for ourselves and get these people out of power. I hope I'm not taking all of your time, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, other people come in too. Yeah, I'm here, man.
You know, Alex William, and the good thing about SUP, that is the political party that I am glad that I was part of that history making. My days in UL. I'm just grateful to God. You know, Alex William, the man was the SG. The man was the SG, the pen poacher for soup during our days. You don't play. You don't play. You see, all soup, pen poacher. There are now people to overlook in government. When they turn against your government, when your government step on them, when they're ready to explode. All of them, that how would that all of them, that to your criminal finance minister. He almost go to go pee in a pants today. When you hear this revelation from Alex William. And you know, for me, I told my friend, I say, for some of you, you don't know Alex, that's small one. Listen to him tomorrow. Listen to Alex tomorrow, then you will know they can. The man is not the man is not even afraid. Alex William is not even afraid. The man is not even afraid. That's because when you go to school for something and you know something and you know what you are saying and you know what you are saying it is true, no matter of can make you afraid. No matter what it is, can never make you afraid. Alex, and secondly, the man, he is the son of Nima. I hope you know what you're trying to do. I hope you know what you're trying. The man and Larry Yonko, they're from the same village. Larry Yonko is not the man uncle, but the man and Larry Yonko, they're from the same village. So, you know the water that Alex William can warm his body with. Keep a call coming out on 215-824-8124 or 215-266-6509. That is the two number to call for you to be part of the Magnificent Abraka Talk Show. Or you can call her on your WhatsApp number on 215-266-6509. That is the phone number to call and to be part of the Magnificent Abraka Talk Show. Yeah. Damn it. The man damaged them today.
It's good to have you, Mr. Weller.
Thank you. I will not know all of the staff in the office of Melvin Cole. And so if I can receive the list of those staff what's in his office, I can compare that with what is on the bank statement I have in my possession and will be in the best position to tell you whether they are or not.
Okay, thank you. I will send a listing. I'm trying to get a listing. I will send it to Stanton. Then he will call the listing. Then maybe you will confirm from there. Thank you. I've answered my two questions.
I think it's UP about it. I know Stanton said.
Alex, let me first of all commend you for taking out this time, for being so passionate when it comes to LISGIS and the work that you do, and for being brave to come up and say this. But let me ask you this question. I'm confused when it comes to the UNFPA and when it comes to the censor. I'm confused with you and Minister Weah about the sanction. Minister Weah said the sanction was on. UNFPA issued a statement that sanction was on. Is that a legitimate statement that was issued by UNFPA that the sanction was on?
Let me say this to you, Dr. Peabody. If Dr. Barnett, who was the resident coordinator of UNFPA, was in Liberia today, the embarrassment we are having, we will never experience it. because Minister Tue knows that Dr. Barnett will never allow Minister Tue to use his head.
Anyway, we'll stop here for tonight. So I will wait for Alex William next play for tomorrow. And we'll play it for you guys. We'll play it for you guys. We'll play it for you guys. Alex Williams, shit! Because the men then that guarded Alex Williams for tonight, up to the time that he will leave the country to go to Ghana, many escorting him, many will be escorting him to the airport. Men then will be, I'm not saying boys, I said men, then will be assigned to him all the way to the airport until they can see him get into the plane. So some of you guys, we have told you continuously that this government is inept, that this government is incompetent, but still some of you guys have to listen. So that's all that we have for you tonight. We will be here tomorrow with Alex William Part 2. That's how we'll let you come to the very end of the Magnificent Abraka Talk Show. Be our guest tomorrow at 9 p.m. Bye-bye for now.